Hello everyone, hope everyone's well. On this upload, I would like to dive into missing people in Utah. The three cases that we're about to listen to are really mysterious. So I want everybody to listen, hopefully give me your thoughts. Let's dive into this.
Missing hiker shared eerie final video of snowy mountain in Utah before disappearing a week ago. Cops find his empty truck and a trail of footprints before calling off the search in extreme weather. Austin Madsen, 32, of Mapleton, was hiking at Mount Dutton in Utah when he disappeared on Thursday. He sent an eerie video to a friend of the snowy mountain, telling them, "The ocean's coming back, brother." Police managed to find his car on Mount Dutton and a trail of footprints they believe belonged to him, but called the search off due to bad weather. A Utah hiker has gone missing after sending a friend an eerie final video of a snowy mountain, as cops find his empty truck and a trail of footprints. Austin Madsen, 32, of Mapleton, was hiking at Mount Dutton in Utah when he disappeared on Thursday after telling his family he was going to Arizona. Before his disappearance, he sent a video of the snowy mountain to an unidentified friend, where he can be heard saying, "The ocean's coming back, brother." His wife, Emily Eliza Madsen, posted the video in a local Facebook group, saying the video showed that last place we heard from him, and asked the public if they could identify. "It's not common for him to go this long without any sort of communication," Emily told KTVU. "I talked to him via FaceTime, and he was snowshoeing and looked like he was having fun, but then he was looking for the truck. I haven't heard from him since." She last heard from him on Friday morning and said he had been facing some mental health problems lately. The father of two was last seen wearing a brown fuzzy hat, black sunglasses, and a camo puffer jacket. Emily does not believe her husband has been to Mount Dutton before. "He's a mountain guy, adventure guy. He loves the outdoors," she told the outlet, but said his go-to spot was running trail. Police were notified of his disappearance on January 29, and the Mapleton Police Department pinged Madsen's phone and located it in Garfield County, south of Monroe Mountain. On Tuesday, authorities managed to track down his black 2011 Chevrolet Avalanche in the dry hollow area on Mount Dutton and a trail of footprints leading into the wilderness, believed to have been left by the hiker. However, the search was called off at 2:30 a.m. following torrential weather, but was later resumed via helicopter, despite weather conditions making it incredibly difficult. The rough terrain and deep snow complicated travel throughout the area, Garfield County Sheriff's Office said in a statement. Police are still searching for the hiker as rescue crews from Paiute, Iron, and Sevier counties assist the Garfield County Sheriff's Office. Police located his black 2011 Chevrolet Avalanche, stock image, in the dry, hollow area on Mount Dutton and a trail of footprints leading into the wilderness, believed to have been left by the hiker. They had to call off the search due to bad weather but are continuing to look for him. The weird disappearance of Garrett Bardsley from Cuberant Lake in Utah. Garrett Bardsley disappeared August 20th, 2004, near Cuberant Lake, Uinta Mountains, Summit County, Utah. At around 8 a.m. on August 20th, 2004, 12-year-old Garrett Bardsley and his father, Kevin, got up early while on a Boy Scout camping trip. They headed down to a nearby lake called Cuberant in the Uinta Mountains in Utah for some fishing. The father and son lived in Elk Ridge and were camping with 18 scouts and 6 or 7 adults from Thursday, August 19, and had planned to leave Saturday. Garrett managed to get his shoes, pants, and socks soaked with water whilst fishing, and he told his dad he wanted to walk back to change back at camp as he felt uncomfortable in the wet clothes. He told his father he wouldn't be long, and soon went back at the lake to try and land a fish for breakfast. The rest of their Boy Scout group were camped up the hill at the Cuberant campsite, a mere 150 to 250 feet away. They had walked the trail several times before, so Kevin let his son head back to camp while he continued fishing. He thought it was no big deal. Just in case, Kevin kept his eyes on Garrett as he walked around the lake and even shouted directions, reminding Garrett which path would lead him straight back to camp. Then, after 20 minutes, Kevin wondered what was taking his son so long to return. He returned to the camp to see what had happened, and Garrett was nowhere to be seen. None of the other Boy Scouts had seen him at the camp. A huge search of the area with hundreds of official and unofficial searchers turned up nothing apart from one of Garrett's Nike socks. The ice fishing pole he was carrying was never located. What happened to Garrett? Did he get lost? Was it an abduction, animal attack, or something more mysterious? Where is and what is Cuberant Lake, or Cuberant Lake Number 1, is a lake in the Uinta Mountains in Summit County, Utah, within the Camos, Ranger District of the Uinta, Wasatch, Cache National Forest, and about 3,500 feet, 1,100 meters, northwest of Mount Marcel, elevation 11,340 feet, 460 meters. The lake is at an elevation of 10,426 feet, 178 meters. Cuberant is a word derived from the Ute language, meaning long. The main lake is substantially larger than the other 6 lakes in the Cuberant Lakes Basin, Cuberant Lake -6. The Cuberant Lakes Basin drains through a reasonably short stream about 4,500 feet long that flows west-southwest while descending nearly 1,000 feet, 300 meters, and empties into the Weber River. As steep inclines and declines surround the basin, the only reasonable access to the lake and the basin is by way of a trail that branches off the Lofty Lake Trail and circles around the west side of Mount Marcel. The Lofty Lake Trail begins at the Mirror Lake Scenic Byway and heads northwest through Reed's Meadow before the 2 trails split. The search. The campsite was less than a quarter-mile from the lake on a well-established path connected with a road another quarter-mile away. A family friend said the distance to camp from where they had been fishing was no more than 150 paces distant. More than 200 volunteers and search and rescue team members searched into the night on Sunday, August 21, for Garrett, who was wearing hooded, black sweatshirt and reversible black and red sweatpants, and white Converse tennis shoes. Additional search and rescue teams from Cache County joined teams from Utah, Salt Lake, Wasatch, and Duchesne counties. He had no provisions or backpack, but was carrying a short, black, chrome ice fishing pole when he vanished. Hundreds of Summit County Sheriff's Office volunteers and personnel searched on foot, horseback, and with dogs. This effort was scaled back to more than 50 professional search and rescue personnel working on foot. After this, the only evidence that searchers found was Garrett's Nike sock 0.5 miles from where he disappeared in a granite boulder field. Summit County Sheriff Dave Edmonds said, "The sock appears that it was taken off of a wet foot, wadded up, very consistent with what we know about Garrett." Because of where the sock was found, Edmonds said it would be in line with the assumption that he sought shelter in the cold weather, maybe by going into the boulder field for a crevasse or outcropping, something to try and get out of the weather. The mountainous terrain meant the temperature dropped to around 18 degrees the night Garrett disappeared. The local police decided that there was not enough evidence pointing to a kidnapping. The official search for Garrett was called after 9 days. A 3-mile radius in the rugged mountains from where he was last seen was thoroughly searched. After the official search, the family, many dedicated friends, and volunteers continued search efforts, returning at least 2 or 3 times each week until October. Further searches happened after the winter of 2004, but turned up nothing. Kevin Bardsley said, "We know that it is often discouraging, at the end of the day, when we haven't found him or any signs of him. But we want you to know that every area that we search just gets us that much closer to finding him. I've speculated and speculated. I don't know where he is. I wish I knew. If I did, I'd just end this." No other sign of Garrett was found in the area. Did he wander from the area and get lost? Was he abducted? Did a grizzly bear or mountain lion kill him? No sign of an attack was found. Strangely, even his fishing rod was never found. Perhaps his remains lie in some hidden crevice. November 13, 2018. The strange disappearance and death of Jerica Binks on the Timpanogos Cave National Monument Trail. Timpanogos Cave National Monument, National Park missing, Utah. Jerica Binks disappeared February 18, 2018. Remains discovered April 14, 2019. Jerica Binks, 24, was staying at a residential treatment, integrated recovery center near North County Boulevard in American Fork in Utah. On February 18, 2018, she told a roommate at around 9 a.m. she was planning to go for a run in the Timpanogos Cave National Monument. Jerica was a keen long-distance trail runner and often visited the park. She disappeared on that run after being captured by a trail wildlife camera. Over a year later, in April 2019, Jerica's remains were found. She had apparently slipped off the trail and broken her legs. Was it just an accident or something more disturbing? Timpanogos Cave National Monument is a national monument protecting the Timpanogos Cave Historic District and a cave system on Mount Timpanogos. It is in the Wasatch Mountains in American Fork Canyon, near American Fork in Utah. The site is managed by the National Park Service. The 1.5-mile, 2.4 kilometers, trail to the cave is steep, gaining close to 1,000 feet, 300 meters, but paved and wide, so the caves are accessible to most. The 3 caves of the system, one of which is specifically called Timpanogos Cave, are only viewable on guided tours when the monument is open, usually from May through September depending on snow conditions and funding. Jerica left behind her ID and bank card and all her possessions apart from her cell phone, AirPods, and water which she took on the run, according to her mother, Suzanne Westring. She was 5'4", weighing 120 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes and was wearing black 5-toed running shoes and a 2-toned hooded sweatshirt, with dark gray on the back and light gray on the front, and dark green leggings. It was common for Jerica to go running, but she would always return to the Integrated Recovery Center at a reasonable time. She had been voluntarily living there for several months and had been doing well with her treatment, exact issue unknown. Jerica was known to occasionally leave the center and meet with boyfriends. She used her Snapchat account to meet an individual approximately 1 week before she went missing, but that man was tracked down by detectives who determined that he was not involved in the case. The disappearance. Her mother, Suzanne Westring, spoke to Jerica the day before the run on February 17, 2018. The two planned to go car shopping, but when the treatment center called and said Jerica hadn't returned from Timpanogos Cave National Monument, she grew very concerned. After Jerica's disappearance, family and friends spent hundreds of hours walking routes she might have taken, reviewing drone and video surveillance footage from various businesses and homes. Using cell phone tower triangulation data, the family narrowed down the possible routes and areas she might have been in, including routes north of American Fork Hospital, along West North County Boulevard, east along State Route, and trails and roads crossing the Cedar Hills Golf Course in between. Using video footage from the Utah State Developmental Center that very possibly shows her running, the family extrapolated Jerica's running speed at about an 8.8-mile pace. With that pace, she could not have made it to the American Fork Canyon by 10 a.m. But if the ping data had a margin of error of about 10 minutes, then it's possible she could have made it there running. The timing could mean a difference of if Binks made it to the canyon and possibly had an accident, or if she was possibly attacked and carried there in a vehicle, or even if her phone was stolen and moved without her. A major search of the park and surrounding area lasting several days was conducted by the sheriff's office and highly trained search and rescue teams. The search included helicopters, drones, dog teams, and ground searchers rappelling through steep terrain. On weekends and evenings during fair weather in March and April, the family searched the area. Adjacent ski slopes, animal trails, and other possible but unauthorized routes were also searched multiple times. The cave trail gate is locked from below but can be always opened from above, leaving open the possibility that she continued down the trail and left the park. Despite the efforts of professional search teams, family, and volunteers, there were no solid leads for detectives working on the case. Foul play has not been ruled out. According to the sheriff's office, in May 2018, 3 months after Jerica vanished, images captured by a wildlife camera owned by the NPS showed her running down the National Timpanogos Cave Trail and up American Fork Canyon on February 18th around 1:30 p.m. So, she had definitely made it to the monument for her run. This NPS camera was placed on the closed Timpanogos Trail in the fall of 2017 and retrieved on March 27, 2018. The images were taken in an area that was closed to the public for the winter about halfway up the trail. When park staff downloaded the images, they recognized Jerica and reported their discovery to the Utah County Sheriff's Office. In his post on the Finding Jerica Facebook page, Jed Binks, Jerica's brother, said the family has been waiting for a month to release these photos, out of respect and not wanting to step on anyone's toes who are aiding in the investigation. That's why our searches have been so dedicated to this area. They say it's her coming down the trail. There is no footage of her coming up, which leads us to believe she gained access to the trail elsewhere. Furthermore, that leads us to believe someone showed her an entrance prior to her run that day. According to County Sheriff Sergeant Spencer Cannon, the family released the photos without the knowledge of investigators. Cannon said deputies believe someone in the family snapped photos with their cell phone while investigators privately showed them the pictures on a computer. The reason the sheriff's office did not want the photos released was to avoid compromising the investigation should Jerica's disappearance turn out to be a criminal matter. A cell phone ping registered in Saratoga Springs at the mouth of American Fork Canyon at 10 a.m., around the same time as she headed up the canyon. The family believes she may have accessed the trail elsewhere. On April 14, 2019, a 70-year-old local hiker came across the skeletal remains of a body, along with several personal items including shoes, running clothes, and a cell phone, in a ravine near Jerica's last known location. Local police announced the discovery on February 15, 2024, and confirmed the body was that of Jerica Binks on February 17, 2024, after a completed medical examination. The man who found the remains was an experienced local hiker who has explored the area for years and had never been to that spot before. She was located 850 feet in elevation gain, about 2,500 feet, above the road in a wash ravine on the north side of the canyon, in an area above Swinging Bridge. The area was well outside of those searched for by search and rescue, the family and volunteers, and all drone searches. While searches covered lower parts of that area, it was easily 2,000 feet outside of these search locations. It is an area that really does not have developed trails and is not a common hiking route. What happened to Jerica Binks? Authorities did not confirm an official cause of death, but a statement from the Utah County Sheriff's Office said Binks suffered a serious break to both bones in the lower part of one of her legs. Police do not believe foul play was involved in her death, and the most likely theory remains that she decided to explore beyond the area's man-made paths and suffered an accidental fall. The location of Jerica's body helps to explain why the comprehensive search effort after her disappearance failed to find anything. Her body was located halfway up a steep ravine, away from any trails or man-made structures, around a mile northwest of the Swinging Bridge picnic area, which is half a mile down the road from the trailhead where she was last seen. She was clearly alive and well at 1:30 p.m. when the NPS pictures of Jerica running down the trail were captured by the wildlife camera. What happened to her after that? Was it really a case of her venturing off the man-made path for reasons unknown, or did something more sinister happen?
Well, what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts. Please leave a comment. Everybody have a good night. See ya.